The anticipation has finally come to an end. After an extended period of rumors, teases, and utter silence, the WWE Universe has finally received the moment it's been waiting for. Roman Reigns, the man who once stood unchallenged at the summit of the company, has made his long-awaited return. But this isn't just about a comeback. This is a calculated move, a resounding statement. Roman didn't return alone, and what unfolded at WWE Battleground was more than a simple reappearance. It was a bold proclamation of power. Emerging from the shadows, flanked by an ominous and unfamiliar figure, Reigns reminded the world that the Bloodline saga is far from over. In fact, what we saw may only be the beginning of something even more dangerous, more unpredictable, and far more ruthless than anything we've seen from the Bloodline before. Let's dive into everything that happened at WWE Battleground and dissect how Roman Reigns didn't just surprise the WWE Universe. He left it in shock by reintroducing himself with a new partner that no one saw coming. But before we explore the shockwave of Roman's return, let's rewind and reflect on the sequence of events that led to this turning point. WWE's Saturday Night Main Event had already promised high-stakes action, and it delivered on every front. The card was filled with compelling matchups and electric energy from the crowd. But beneath all the pyro, promos, and rivalries, one question loomed silently in the background. Would Roman Reigns make his presence felt? One of the first matches of the night set the tone. Jey Uso squared off against Logan Paul in a fast-paced, high-energy showdown. Rumors swirled that Logan Paul might pull off a controversial win, possibly aided by Gunther, who had already expressed interest in facing the victor. WWE fans buzzed at the possibility of a Logan Paul versus Gunther clash, a fresh and unexpected rivalry that could explode in time for Money in the Bank. But despite the speculation and drama, Jey Uso secured a hard-fought victory, a reminder to everyone watching that even though the bloodline may be fractured, its individual members remain forces to be reckoned with. Jey's win wasn't just a boost to his momentum, it served as a signal that there are still strong, motivated warriors tied to Roman's legacy. Later in the evening, WWE legend John Cena faced off against R-Truth in a bout that felt more like a nostalgic celebration than a fiercely contested match. R-Truth, known for his comedic charm and underdog appeal, was loved by the crowd, but it was clear from the beginning that Cena wasn't about to lose. The outcome was almost inevitable. Cena stood tall, title in hand. But the real intrigue didn't come from the match itself. It came from what lies ahead. With names like Randy Orton, Brock Lesnar, and Edge being whispered as potential challengers for Money in the Bank, Cena might soon find himself in the middle of a multi-headed storm. And if Roman Reigns, with his new partner, decides to set his sights on Cena, it could ignite a rivalry that shakes WWE's foundation. The pivotal moment of the night, however, the match that turned everything upside down, was the tag team encounter featuring Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker facing off against CM Punk and Sami Zayn. This was a dream match on paper, featuring former world champions, crowd favorites, and stars with limitless potential. The bout itself delivered beyond expectations, filled with explosive moments, near falls, and breath-stealing reversals. Ultimately, Rollins and Breaker triumphed, basking in the applause, thinking they had claimed the spotlight. But then, everything changed. The lights dimmed. The atmosphere shifted. A hush fell over the crowd. And then the music hit. The unmistakable entrance theme of Roman Reigns blared through the arena, and in that instant, the entire WWE Universe stood still. Roman appeared not as a performer looking for validation, but as a general returning to the battlefield. He didn't pose. He didn't speak. He walked with the calm intensity of a man with a mission. But what truly shook everyone was the figure walking beside him, massive, mysterious, and cloaked in shadow. When that figure finally stepped into the light, the WWE Universe was left reeling. The speculation hit instantly. Could it be Zilla Fatu, son of the late Umaga and Roman's cousin, making his debut on the biggest stage? Or, in a shocking twist, was that man Dean Ambrose, the man now known as Jon Moxley in EW, returning to WWE in a move no one thought possible? Ambrose left WWE years ago under strained circumstances, making it clear he had no intention of returning. But if he has returned, if the man standing next to Roman Reigns is indeed the lunatic fringe himself, then we are witnessing not only the return of the Shield's most volatile member, but potentially the resurrection of a force that once ruled WWE. Whether this is a reunion or the birth of something even darker, the implications are massive. This wouldn't just be a revival. It would be a rebirth, forged in vengeance, loyalty, and domination. The aftermath of the match underscored this shift. Seth Rollins, momentarily stunned, tried to fight back, but the numbers were too much. Braun Breaker battled valiantly, refusing to back down, but the mystery enforcer that accompanied Roman was simply too powerful, too relentless. The ring was left in ruins, with Rollins and Breaker beaten and broken. CM Punk and Sami Zayn, perhaps sensing what was coming, had already exited, avoiding the carnage. Roman stood tall in the center, expression unreadable, sending a message without uttering a single word. His return wasn't just about reclaiming a throne. It was about announcing a reign of terror that could reshape the very structure of WWE. And now, with Money in the Bank fast approaching, the landscape has become more unpredictable than ever. Roman Reigns doesn't return for random appearances. When he shows up, it's part of a larger strategy. The man he brought with him isn't just muscle, he's a symbol of what's to come. Whether this is the beginning of a new version of the Bloodline or an entirely different faction altogether, one thing is clear: this is a movement with a purpose. WWE has been careful not to confirm the identity of Roman's ally just yet, but the hints are there. Zilla Fatu has been tearing it up on the independent scene, building a reputation as a powerhouse with a pedigree. His arrival in WWE would be fitting, the next chapter in a family legacy of destruction. On the other hand, if it really is Dean Ambrose, returning to stand beside his former Shield brother in a new form, then WWE is on the verge of a storytelling renaissance like no other. There's even speculation that Roman might not stop with just one ally. This could be the foundation of an entirely new faction, a restructured empire with Roman as its head, a terrifying partner enforcing his will, and fresh blood being groomed to ensure his dynasty lives on long after his eventual exit. What we're witnessing could be the beginning of Roman Reigns' endgame, a carefully orchestrated rise to absolute power. So, what's next? The WWE locker room is on high alert. Every superstar is now dealing with a looming threat that didn't exist just days ago. Roman's presence changes everything. Championships are at risk. Alliances will be tested, and rivalries will evolve. Will Roman and his partner dominate the tag team division? Will he challenge for a major title again? Or is this merely step one in a plan to dismantle the WWE, piece by piece, soul by soul? One thing is certain, though.